everyone, Draco Magnius here for another episode of Let's Blindly Stream Angels with Scaly Wings. In the last episode, in our third timeline through, we discovered that Anna had been killed at the production facility. So now we're going to help the police with investigating. We have a choice between going to the production facility to do more investigating there, the police archives, and the store. Since we're doing Adine's quest and she does need like a map of the facility built by humans, and that might be at the police archives, I think we should go to the police archives first. What should I do? I was on my way to the police station when a voice called out to me. Hey, you! I'm talking to you, human! Oh, it's an old man. Okay. Can I help you? I certainly hope so. I'm in a little conundrum here. My cart seems to be stuck. Oh, hey, Vibe! Yeah, you just came in right on time. I can see that. I'm Katsuharu, by the way, local ice cream vendor. Draco, you've probably heard of me by now. I'm kind of a big deal, being the only human in this world. Well, one of the only two. But do we really count Reza for being human? He's kind of a monster. Whatever. Of course, of course. In any case, do you think you can spare some time to help me out? It might take a while, though, so I hope you're not in a rush. Sure. I'll help him out. Thank you. Now, I already tried pulling it out, but I think the axle is going to break if I try to do that again. I wasn't really in the best condition to begin with, honestly, and I heard a crack when I tried to pull it out earlier. Oh, that's not good. So, what do you want me to do? The cart is pretty heavy, so I'll be the one lifting it and holding the wheel steady so the axle doesn't break. Once I give you the sign, you start pulling, and hopefully that'll do the trick. Alright. Here, grab the handles and wait for my signal. By the time I had gotten into position, Katsuharu was already on the other side of the cart, getting dirty as he slowly lifted the affected corner of the cart out of the muddy hole. Is that your sign? Should I start pulling now? Do it! Do it now! I started pulling, but the cart turned out to be much heavier than I expected and didn't move. What are you waiting for? Do it already! I pulled harder, but the cart still refused to budge. I mustered all my strength before I pulled as hard as I possibly could. Yes, do it! Slowly the cart started moving, and after a few seconds it was freed from the perilous clutches of the muddy puddle. With a dull thud, the dragon set the cart down again, set the cart down again before he flopped on the ground, exhausted. Hey, we did it! Yeah, good job. Do you want me to call you some help? No, I just need some rest. And maybe some ice cream. Yes, I'll have some ice cream, and I'll be better in no time. That must be some pretty good ice cream. Oh, you have no idea. You must have already heard people talking about my wonderful, unique ice cream experience. Actually, not really. Ah, where are my manners? I haven't even properly thanked you yet. It's no problem. No, I insist. I won't be indebted to you for helping me. What are you planning? You are hereby invited to join me for some ice cream. As an ambassador, you owe it to yourself and humanity to try it. Maybe I do. Well, I must get going for now. Here's my number. I'll get you that ice cream some other time. Thanks! You helped Katsuhara. Altruist! Text was so tiny I wasn't sure what it said. For deciding my next move, I returned to my apartment for a moment of rest. A small piece of paper had been slipped under my door while I was gone. Don't go to the portal was all it said. I considered the possibility of a hidden message, but that was unlikely. The statement was so blunt and quickly scrawled. Someone clearly didn't want me to go to the portal, but why would I go there in the first place? As it was out of order right now, such an action would serve no purpose. I looked outside the window at the portal's faint silhouette in the distance. The paper rustled between my fingers as I fidgeted with it, wondering about the message's sender and significance. My train of thought was violently interrupted by a sharp burst of gunfire echoing from the portal. I had to think fast. The gunshots ensured Reza's involvement. He was at the portal. The question was, why? This was his attempt to flee back to the human world. He would receive a rather unpleasant surprise the moment he would try to use the portal. Man, I am fumbling all over myself today. Or maybe Sebastian's theory was correct, and Reza held the part needed to repair the portal, in which case his escape could be imminent. The gunshots themselves were another question. Was it someone trying to stop him? The police patrol may have seen him, and he may have been taken by surprise. This could be another murder in progress. But all of his murders were committed with a sharp weapon before now, not a gun. He didn't want to be heard. Besides, it was only early evening, and the town was still bustling. If Reza wanted to stay hidden, he was doing a rather poor job at it. Of course, there was also a possibility he wanted to be heard, but who would he want to attract? The police? Maverick? It could easily be a trap for those hunting him, and that technically included me. I wasn't sure if he knew of my involvement in the investigation. It was also a very real possibility he knew my apartment was close enough to the portal to hear a gunshot. Could it be a signal for me? Regardless, the words held in my hand were unmistakable. Don't go to the portal. What should I do? Yeah, this one's a really cool song. What do you guys think I should do? Because, I mean, we've technically seen both of these options, how they play out. I could just not go and call the police. Or should I go to the portal and investigate? I'm leaving the decision to you guys at this point, because there's a decent amount of people here that can make a decision. So why not? Have some community involvement here. Of course, this means there's going to be some silence from me for a little bit, while I wait for the chat to catch up. But that means I can jam to the music. Alright. That's 2 votes out of the... Well, now it's 2 people. It was 3 for a second, but let's call the police. Ultimately, I trusted the mysterious message. Remy's list of phone numbers given to me when he brought me to this apartment in the first place proved to be a valuable tool. I dialed the emergency line and was greeted by a calm voice asking me about my emergency. Gravity of the situation was understood, and I was advised to stay inside until further notice. A team was dispatched to deal with the situation while I waited from my window. I tried to catch a glimpse of what was going on at the portal, but I couldn't see much. The dark night was fast approaching. About an hour later, I was informed that a team had searched the perimeter, though no trace of Reza was found. I was given the go-ahead to continue with my investigation, but I was free to stay where I was if I felt unsafe. Alright, now let's go to the police archives. When I arrived at the station, I was met by the police archivist, a dragoness who introduced herself as Kathleen. Kalinth? Let's go with Kalinth. Introduced herself as Kalinth. You're in luck, Draco. Bryce compiled all the case files a while ago. Ever since you came to our world, he seems to be a lot more interested in these human mysteries. Wonder if it has something to do with you. Anyway, you can find all the files here. I'll leave the rest with you. Study the blueprint of the underground building near the portal. Read the structural damage report of the underground building near the portal. Play a prank. Rummage through the trash. Wow. All these fucking options. Let's read the blueprint first. The blueprint of the building caught my attention. Apparently, it had been found during their cursory investigation within the building itself. At first glance, nothing about it stood out to me. But the more I studied it, the more the facts revealed themselves. Both of its entrances were freed and accessible by the people in charge. One was through the tunnel in the vicinity of the portal, and the other through a dig that cut through the town sewer system. Bryce had scrawled a note near his second entry. It simply said, "Access V hatch. Button counterclockwise." Hold on, this sounds like something I could use in the park. I'm gonna fucking write this down so I don't forget it, because I guarantee you, if I don't type it in my phone or write it down, I will forget it. Confirmed. Okay. Button. Oops. Something about a number. Counter clockwise. Okay. There. Furthermore, the data in the corner of the blueprint listed the structure as an independent living and research unit, dated to the year 2047. Most interestingly, I recognized the name of the company that was listed. They were a well-established super company before our world's collapse, known for their advances in the scientific fields and otherwise through the use of legal loopholes and gray markets. They were very successful at what they did. Their facilities subverted laws and ethical issues by being in areas where such concerns were non-existent, or could be made non-existent by paying off the right individuals. Naturally, the products and applications of their research was usually fair game to be used and sold worldwide. There were only one of the companies involved in the championing of teleportation technology that was about to take off on a grand scale before the solar flare changed everything. Of course, there were public worries regarding the untested long-term consequences of utilizing black holes in such technology. It was outlawed in certain countries due to these concerns, but lobbies and the private sector drove many of them to accept the tech in light of the boundless advances they offered. They were also big in medical, security, and weaponry fields. Their vast knowledge and close cooperation of their individual departments enabled them to make breakthroughs. It seemed like they could do anything they set out to do. The nanomachines that became commonplace before the fall were, of course, also their product. No one was surprised that the tech failed under the radiation of the ion storm. Had the company behind it been more concerned about safety rather than profits, perhaps fewer lives would have been lost. Story of capitalism, huh? Even though they weren't perfect, nanomachines still had increased the quality of life for many people. It was a new way of testing medical conditions, some of which have been previously untreatable. They were also widely used for performance-enhancing properties for both day-to-day activities and to assist with dangerous jobs. Wait a minute. Oh shit, you're right, it isn't that far off, is it? It's only 26 years away. Shit. Beyond that, the company had even branched into genetic engineering. Human hereditary diseases were becoming a thing of the past, as they developed techniques to alter human life at its core. Ultimately, they had a hand in influencing every area of life on a global scale. It was unknown who truly was calling the shots, as their network of companies and names was vast. It was only one of their many ways to ensure their continued existence and avoid liability. Where they had been outlawed or their operations shut down, new companies with suspiciously similar products appeared practically overnight. However, no matter how big their empire was, how well they skirted the lines, they ultimately collapsed, just like the rest of the world. It's kind of comforting in a way. In the end, it doesn't matter how rich you are or poor you are. When the